I stood in our pristine, contemporary kitchen, gazing at the charred wreckage that had once been my passport. The foul stench lingered as the final traces of smoke rose from the marble island. The blue cover had turned into a stinging smell of burnt plastic. My wife, Belle, sat a short distance away, idly enjoying her green smoothie while her well-groomed fingers browsed through her phone as though she had not just destroyed my identification. She spoke without looking up, her voice brimming with that arrogant tone I'd come to despise. She smirked as if it were a great joke, saying, "You don't need it. Stay at home and take care of the kids. I'm going to relax because that's what poor husbands do." She believed I was too stupid and preoccupied with my work to notice the sudden girls' trips, the late-night texts, or the way she had started dressing up for simple errands. But I had noticed. I had known for months. What she didn't know, what I hadn't yet disclosed to anyone, was that I had just signed the deal of my life. My startup, the one I had worked on for 15 years, had been sold to a global conglomerate for $2 billion. That put billions in my pocket and granted me absolute freedom, and she had no idea. I had concealed it from her because I wanted to give her a fresh start. Maybe that Italian home we had once dreamed about, back when she still looked at me like I mattered. But now I realized she didn't deserve the surprise. She didn't deserve me. Belle drank her smoothie and walked upstairs, whistling as if she had just won some grand prize. I remained silent in my moment of magnificent triumph. I waited until the children were in bed, their gentle breathing filling the house. The silence stretched, and then I got up. I took a duffel bag out of the closet, filling it with clothes, my laptop, and a few essentials. I took out bundles of cash, some documents, and a spare key from the safe in my office, the one she never knew the code to. I didn't tell her about the key fob to the car I had bought last year. I wasn't in a panic. This was a premeditated move. I was reclaiming control. Back in the kitchen, the ashes of my passport still left a dark stain on the marble. I took a pen and notebook out of the drawer and quickly wrote, "You're right. I will stay at home and enjoy your trip." I left the note next to the ashes, knowing she would see it in the morning. She would assume it was surrender. She would laugh. She might even call Noah to gloat about how pitiful I was for letting her get away with it. She wouldn't notice I had left. I locked the door behind me, got into my black SUV, and drove into the night. As I made my way downtown, city lights flickered. By. My mind raced, but I was calm. I wasn't the broken man she believed I would be. I was something different now, something she would never have predicted. The penthouse room I checked into was a world away from the glass walls of our suburban mansion. The skyline stretched before me like a map of possibilities. I poured a glass of whiskey from the minibar, sat on the leather couch, and gazed out at the city. My phone undoubtedly buzzed with Belle's calls, but I didn't look. Not yet. This night was about me taking back my life. The next morning, sunlight poured through my floor-to-ceiling windows. My mind was clear. My phone sat on the glass coffee table. 10 missed calls, 12 unread texts. I didn't need to open them. I knew what they would say. First confusion, then rage, then some half-baked excuse. "Good," I muttered. "Let her. Stew!" I showered, letting the hot water wash away the last remnants of my old life. I dressed in a clean shirt and jeans, clothes she never would have chosen for me. Then I called my lawyer, Juno. She picked up on the second ring. "You're up early." "Everything's fine," I said smoothly. "Belle burned my passport last night. Thought she was stranding me, thought she was cutting me off. She has no idea." There was a pause, then a low whistle. "Damn," Juno murmured. "Congratulations. What's the plan for her?" I grinned at the skyline. Lock her out of everything. By noon, my business partner, Theo, had frozen all the accounts and credit cards Belle had access to. Juno texted, "Done. She has nothing but what's in her purse. I imagined Belle in Santorini, swiping her card for a cocktail, only to be politely declined. The realization would hit her like a truck. The rage, the panic. She would call me, demand answers. I wouldn't pick up. Instead, I poured myself a strong black coffee and sat at my desk opening my laptop. The penthouse was mine, paid in full, untraceable. She would never find me, but she wasn't the only one who needed a wake-up call. Noah's fiancée, Isla, was about to learn the truth. A mutual friend gave me her number. She agreed to meet at a downtown cafe. When I arrived, she was already waiting, blonde hair tied back, face tight with stress. I sat down and got straight to the point. Noah is cheating on you. Her eyes widened, then hardened. That's a lie. I pulled out my phone and showed her the pictures. Noah and Belle boarding the plane, his hand on her knee, her laughing like nothing mattered. Isla's face collapsed, but she didn't cry. She just stared. That bastard, she muttered. I leaned in. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here because we can help each other. They think they've won. They think we're powerless, but I have more resources than they know, and I'm going to use them. She took a deep breath. Then slowly, she nodded. I have Noah's cloud password, she whispered. Let me check. A few moments passed. Then her fingers froze on the screen. Oh my God. She turned the phone toward me. Dozens of messages, plans, Noah and Belle discussing how they would drain my accounts, leave me for broke, spin the narrative in their favor. I laughed bitterly. They think they've won. I forwarded the texts to Juno. Build the case, I want them to pay. That night I sat in my penthouse, watching the city lights sparkle like a million tiny eyes. My laptop was open, Isla's texts illuminating the screen. Every message was a dagger. Every plan they had made against me was another nail in there. Coffin! They thought they had destroyed me. But they had only just lit the fuse, and I was about to explode. A partner in this, and whether she realized it or not, I sat down again and opened a blank document to see the true course of action. I would expose them without making loud allegations, in order to develop not only defense, but offense. A journalist. Friend owed me a debt of gratitude, with calm, indisputable facts. She loved this, suburban betrayal, money, sex. The whole while I helped her find a tech narrative, a soap opera. I emailed her to get a scoop, off the record for now, and tomorrow I'll have coffee. I could already envision the headline when she bit, and even though it was beyond midnight, my adrenaline kept me going. Every message, clip, and receipt was a brick in the wall, and I was building one that they would never be able to climb above. Belle believed she would kill me, but she was unaware that she had just handed me the greatest weapon of all proof. The laptop screen in my penthouse was sparkling with those damning letters and videos as I sat at my desk. But my focus shifted away from them and on to the first 12 years. I was simply a tenacious programmer when Belle and I first met. She had entered the garage with a friend, full of energy and carrying a battered laptop that smelled like engine oil and old coffee. Relaxed smiles, a sundress that reflected the sunshine off the code I was troubleshooting. She didn't care that my shirt was crumpled, that my hair was a mess after 16 hours of non-stop work. She was leaning against the workbench when she added, "Looks like you're building the future," I told her, laughing shyly and awkwardly. She persisted in asking questions, listening as though she genuinely cared, even though it was simply a stupid app idea. That was the Belle I loved. When I was nothing, I fell in love with someone who saw something in me. Now, looking out at the city lights, I wonder, where did that girl go? When she left, I was full of ambition, working late into the night, making ends meet on ramen